Come close. Come real close. Are you waiting for your business to crash and burn? All right, guys. So this week we're talking about the 5 early signs of a website crisis. Now, if you're new to this channel, I'm Jess with Prostige Marketing. And on this channel, we talk all about marketing and business tips. Now, if this content brings you value, be sure to hit that subscribe button and share this video with a friend. So I'm really excited to discuss this topic because it's a common problem that a plethora of business owners fail at. Now, with that being said, there's several things that can signal that you do have a website crisis. And one of the most common issues that I see with websites is just that they're too slow. Now, there was actually an article that was published by Entrepreneur Magazine that stated if your website takes more than 3 seconds to upload, then 40% of visitors will leave the website. Now, this is what we call a bounce rate. Now, this is extremely problematic when using a landing page to generate leads. So if you guys want to learn more about the power of landing pages, be sure to check out my last video from last week. Now, I have it linked right above, and I'll also have it linked in the description below. So moving on, if your website is not being optimized for mobile viewing, you're definitely in trouble, okay? So now when you look at the website on a desktop or even on your laptop, the website looks stunning. But when you view the website on your phone, the text is too large, the images aren't aligned correctly, and it just looks like a bloody mess. But more importantly, Google also looks at this, so if SEO is important to you, then you definitely want to get this rectified sooner rather than later. Now, while we're on the subject of appearance, if your website looks outdated, then your business is definitely in a crisis. Now, the reality is that consumers are visual, and a poorly designed website with branding photos from like 2008, it definitely speaks to your level of professionalism, and it really shows people how much you really care about your business. So definitely make the right impression. Now, here's a good one. Having a poor content strategy. And honestly, I really don't hear people talk about this, but when this happens, your content does not connect with your target market. Now, many business owners make the mistake of making their own copy, which is basically just the words and text on a website. They make it too general. And this is just a waste of time. So here's a few tips. So number one, you definitely want to identify your buyer persona. And I talk about this on all my videos because it's so important. And I feel like a lot of people actually miss this step. Number two, you definitely want to create content on your blog that your audience actually cares about, right? So if your audience doesn't care about the content that you're putting out there, they're not going to read it. They won't feel connected to it. And it's really just a huge miss. And then moving on, in addition to that, you also want to address their pain points in your facts or your frequently asked questions. You also want to put this on other pages on your website with a clear call to action. So once you're addressing their pain points, then that kind of gives them the okay to move forward with maybe even having a consultation with you and seeing what their options are. Of course, they may visit other websites or other businesses as well, but you definitely want to be on the top of their list. Now, last but not least, when people say, my ads aren't converting, the first thing that comes to mind is, well, your website is probably slow. Now, when it comes to running ads that direct to a landing page, you may notice that the traffic may be high, but the conversions may be low. Now, the first thing that I always look at is the bounce rate, but of course, there are other possibilities as well. So it could be the offer itself, like maybe people just aren't interested. Now, another thing you can also look at is inconsistent messaging between the ad and what's actually described on the actual web page or the landing page. Now, if your website falls under any of these categories, I want you to get it fixed like right now to make you feel just a little bit special. For all of those of you who are following me, I'm actually going to give you a free website audit. So just click the link in the description and you'll have that. Actually, I'll tell you what, I'll actually make sure that you have your audit within 3 hours of you actually submitting your request. So, like I said, thank you guys so much for watching and supporting my channel. If you're enjoying this content thus far, make sure you give me a like and subscribe and leave your thoughts in the comments.